Today, we are in search of the lost city of Manhattan. And let's see if we can find it on my motorcycle. Come along. This is an NC700X from 2016 with a few modifications I've done to it myself. One being the belly pan. That's an SW Motec, but I painted it because an adventure bike should look like it rode through Mordor or a lava pit or something. I added some crash bars so I can pick it up off the ground if I dump it. I added a grill cover to the radiator. I added a little more fender to it to keep the dirt out. It has Trailmaster mud and snow tires, Shinko. And the same thing in the front. Oh, and I've added these carbon fiber wraparound fork covers. I want to be able to get the fork covers off quickly just to see if I'm leaking any fluid. But this should prevent some dirt from hitting it. Then for highway use, I added a Puig windshield, which still wasn't tall enough. So I added some sliding brackets, which still didn't raise it tall enough, so I put it down and added a windshield extender. Now it's tall enough, it's just not wide enough to really quiet your helmet. I took off the logos. I just last night, sorry for the silicone, put on some bumpers right where the bike tends to fall, as the previous owner had already proven, and took off the Honda, and now it is the Gray Wolf. So what do you guys think? Is it a GS 1250? No, I don't want one. They're too heavy. I don't want a whole bunch of error codes. I want something with zero traction control, which this has zero traction control. It does, however, have ABS that I can't switch off, but that's on me. And I'm not a dirt rider anyway, so I'm trying to get there though. You'll notice on my hand grip the Miller grip system. This is when you really don't feel like changing your grips for the 80th time. So I put on my hair bands from Walmart for like $3 a pack of 80 or whatever they are. And they really do add a lot more grip to them. And they let some airflow under your hands. I've featured that in another video, but there they are. You'll notice the clutch is missing. This is the DCT model. This is the automatic. Why did I go with an automatic? Well, for one thing, I've had them before and I love them. That's one less thing to worry about when you're in a tricky spot in the dirt. The other thing is, I don't know. There isn't another thing. I really missed having a DCT bike among my stable of bikes. Other than adding a phone thingy in my garage door opener, I haven't added too much else to this. So I did stop here for a reason. This little windy spot, this dirt road that's had 3 cars on it in the last 5 minutes since I've been talking. I'm actually surprised by that. For those of you who have never seen an NC700 or 750, this is not the gas tank. This is the frunk. It's the front trunk. a nearly waterproof, if not completely waterproof compartment that currently holds one of my snacks. Ugh, and my key thing's right in the way. Just clamps down like that. Now, the fuel, you say, where is the gas tank? It's under here. It's actually under the seat. You won't be able to see it. And Hondas, well, most Hondas, you check your user manual, they say they only need 86 octane or better. And at higher elevations, you can actually drop that number down a little bit. So I could run it on regular. I have run DCTs on regular before. They run just fine. This one I'm running on medium, mid-grade. I don't know why. I just like paying more. But there's no reason to put premium gas in it. So there you have it. The Grey Wolf. Now I'm going to eat my jerky. And, oh yeah, I think I have some tea in here too. My little bag. Yep, some tea and a protein drink. Not like I need more protein with jerky, but hey. Well, let's see how high up I can get on this road before I lose my nerve. Not that this part of it's scary, but if I run into a whole lot of loose gravel, I don't know this road very well. I've only been here twice over the last 20 years. Yes, my gloves have holes in them. That's so I can work this camera. I take compromises when shooting this stuff. So I'm going into sport mode 2 because I've learned that on dirt and gravel I want that extra power. The cool thing about a DCT is I'm already rolling just by turning the throttle. There are times when you're riding in dirt when you might wish you had a clutch. But that's for the extreme adventure riders. If you're just doing fire roads, the bike shifts when I would shift anyway. In sport mode 2, that is. So I'm really not worried about the gearing or what gear I'm in, or if I'm in the proper gear. If I've been daydreaming and I'm running the whole thing in second gear or first, it doesn't matter. Let the computer handle that part. What I have to watch out for are the locals flying through here, because they might ride right up on my ass. So I gotta make sure I see them coming. First off, I owe my viewers an apology. All three of you. You know who you are. I've been busy making a few videos for John Elway Powersports dealerships. It's been taking most of my video time in my free time. Like yourselves, I have a day job, and I can only do the videos when I have the energy left over from my day job, which is usually on weekends. Anyway, if you want to see my work there, the channel, the YouTube channel, is called Elway Powersports. I've got a couple of 10-minute videos up there. They pay me, but they have nothing to do with this video. I traded for this bike out of network. That said, let's get back to this show. Somewhere in these Colorado hills is what little remains of a once booming gold mining town. In 1886, a group of hired prospectors, the key word here is hired, sought and found some gold. They claimed it was so abundant that you could get it from almost any piece of crushed rock. This news leaked out, and the miners came a-running. They established a town, complete with a saloon, a post office, a school, a stable, and of course, several mines. There were over 40 structures.
The entire area was densely crowded and kept up a multitudinous sound of human voices, of din and clatter of all sorts, night and day.
Who said that? Did you guys hear that? These woods are playing on me.
They constructed buildings about them and planted suitable trees, wrote Plato. Whatever fragrant things there now are in the earth or woods, or essences which distill from fruit and flower, grew and thrived in that land.
Hey, who is narrating this? So, this thriving town, what happened to them all?
A swarm of killer bees.
No, not killer bees.
Frightening as it seems, the killer bee deserves our respect.
Yes, it does. But this video is not about killer bees. I'm backing up a minute. I got this. May I tell it, please? There were 300 miners and their families here. But the gold was not easy to pull out of the ground, and it ran quite deep. The effort in what little gold could come out of the place soon shut it down to only 50 people by 1899. By the turn of the century, there wasn't a whole lot left. The school shut down in 1904, and that was pretty much the end of it. The U.S. Forest Service got a hold of the land, moved a few of the buildings, and burned the rest. It was a fire hazard. Well, we happen to be in a fire burn area, and despite there not being a town left to burn, if you look around me, it didn't need a town to burn. This is all results of the Cameron Peak fire of 2020. Alright, we're back to riding.
All that remains is a thin crescent of mountain and a sullen, smoldering volcano that erupts at least twice a century.
No, there's no volcano. There might be a graveyard, though, if the Cameron Peak fire of 2020 hasn't taken it out. So about this bike. The forks on this bike are by no means cutting edge, but they work great on roads like this one. I do find myself sitting down to use the brakes, but that's mostly what I want to do anyway when that much braking is needed. The throttle is not at all choppy. If there's an opposite to choppy or snatchy, this bike is it. With the DCT, there is no friction zone to feather, but you can tractor it along slower than 1 mile an hour for tricky sections. Be a car in a sharp turn. Now, if I knew this road better, I'd have more confidence in it, but yeah, I don't know what's around any one of the bends. I've raised the bars and brought them back a bit, which makes it easy to stand up and ride. For those new to the idea, standing up gives you an extra set of shock absorbers, your knees. Your elbows play a part too, as keeping knees and elbows slightly bent can make a lumpy road feel a whole lot smoother. And you can stand up and just lay into the throttle, and without switching any gears yourself, climb up to 90 miles per hour or so, without ever having to sit down or tow a gear shifter. It's neither very powerful in motor or braking. Both take a little more time to perform than most adventure bikes, but it will perform smoother than a KLR and with more relaxed throttling than a New Africa Twin. It also gets a minimum of 60 miles per gallon, usually netting a range of 200 miles if you stretch it out. It has 2 ride modes, Drive and Sport has 3 settings. You want to set it to Sport Mode 2 and leave it there. It will intuitively shift right when you want it to, usually. There's paddle shifters for when it doesn't. The seat felt rough and hard the first week I had it, but I wouldn't change it now, except for a heated one. I can feel the weather changing on me. So, where is this place? Did I miss it?
We must search, he tells us, beyond the Pillars of Hercules.
The Pillars of who? No, it's here somewhere. It was marked. I've been here before. I swear these woods are haunted. I'm hearing things. Howdy. Is the town of Manhattan up here? Yeah, there's a ghost town called Manhattan. I've been to it. All it really is some grave sites, but
no idea.
I don't remember where it is.
Yeah, I don't know where it is either.
Okay. Area. Sir? Sir? Can't hear me over the engine. Howdy. Do you know where Manhattan is?
What?
Manhattan?
You're on Manhattan.
What about the town?
Oh,
All that's left is some graves. I know that much. I've been here once before, but I don't know. I don't remember where it is. Well, folks, I've been ghosted by a ghost town. Now, I've been at it before, only once, and it just had like 8 graves in some markers. And I'll show them to you when I come back next time. In the meantime, we had some fun adventure riding and we got a great view, right? I mean, you know, this view right here. In the meantime, this was an impromptu ride like many of my rides are, and I didn't bring a spare battery, and this one's almost toast. So I'm going to sign off and go home. See you later. But I wasn't going to let that video go without you seeing the Manhattan Cemetery that I came looking for. So unlike most In Search Of episodes, this one has an ending. Let's go take a look. So why is the fence down? The fence is down because in 2020 we had a forest fire called the Cameron Peak Fire. And this is the result. Fortunately, the graveyard is still here, although a little bit scorched. We'll capture as much of it as we can anyway. And here is all that's left of Manhattan, Colorado. I'm glad to see the grave markers lasted through the fire, although only just barely. Some of that paint looks recently done. Looks like the last person interred here was 1970, perhaps. Sadly, that one didn't survive. That's a fence post. Just a somber moment in the mountains.